Blue Lock is finally back on its philosophical arc, and despite the complaints, this is the only kind of yapping I genuinely enjoy. Concepts being explained, pieces rummaging around, and with the game at 2-2, 1 point away from ending, Kaneshiro surely has something cooking up for the finale. What's going on, everyone? My name is Animasu, and today we'll be taking a look at Blue Lock chapter 281, titled The Formula of Evolution. This chapter is honestly one of my favorites so far in the PXG match, which might surprise a lot of you after reading or watching yourself. No matter though, if you enjoy Blue Lock content and want to support my channel, please click that subscribe button, comment below your thoughts and theories, and even feel free to join my community Discord down in the description. Without further ado, let's get right into today's video, and remember, my Blue Lock Halloween art competition does end October the 31st around noon, so if you want to submit a piece, make sure to do it before then. Chapter 281 starts off with an interesting looking page, consisting of DNA strands and 3 chibi creatures specifically labeled. With the white blob being a woman and the black blob being a man, the two seem to be parents of the below gray blob as they each pass down half of their gene to it. Ego Jinpachi then comes in and explains how this process is the most crucial step in creating life, encoding the child with DNA based on both of their parents. With another chibi demonstration then showing the same 2 blob parents, something wonky occurs this time, with the gray child having a wiggly tail lifting it off the ground. Ego explains this to be a copy error that happens every so often, resulting in the child being born with a trait unique from both parents. Some specific cases are then shown where there are significant disparities between the parents and their offspring, such as their child's size, height, speed, and even sensitivity of feeling. Funny enough, being a red-haired individual, I fall into this category with my M1CR gene mutation, making me feel around 10 to 15% more pain according to researchers. The more you know. Anyways, Ego then clarifies that the majority of people with unique traits end up doing nothing with them, and it's for a very sad reason. Society doesn't always find being unique a good thing, so those gifted end up singled out due to their differences, or even fail to compare. They're then put at a societal disadvantage, their genes of course are never passed down, and that unique attribute of theirs dies with their soul. In very rare instances though, a unique trait can be something super beneficial, with the example being given height in a forested environment. With the main source of food being apples high up in the treetops, only the tall gray creature is able to eat, leaving the smaller ones on the ground starving to death. The tall creature then thrives and passes that unique gene down to its children, normalizing this advantage through natural selection. The trait that was once a unique mutation becomes a common standard for the species, and this genetic cycle repeats until the original species becomes a completely new creature. The white blob was fine initially, but once put into an environment where food was high up, the population died out and some evolved. The gray tall creature thrived with its unique trait of evolution, so in turn, it then passed on the gene and created a new normal for its people, and continues on and on, with this example even showing the creature eventually develops arms and opposable thumbs. With the perspective of finally switching back to Ego Jinpachi and Henri in the monitoring room, he finishes up by coining this process as evolution. I just got home from my chemistry exam that I definitely flopped on, and now I have to talk about biology. Great, I'm really loving it. Henri tries to relate it all to something fun like Pokemon and Pichu evolving into Pikachu, which I do love. However, Ego, he isn't in any joking mood. Taking on a serious tone, not even swapping his gaze from the monitor, Ego tells Henri that foolish adults who goof off and don't study, well, they too get called out by natural selection. Henri is embarrassed by this and gets all worked up, swearing to do better, but in the end, she still wants to know how this all relates to the sport of football. Before answering that question though, Ego clarifies that all of this is just his own personal theorizing, however he's pretty confident in this timeline of human evolution. We're now talking about its impact on the sport, so instead of creatures, it's humans that Ego breaks down in the exact same style. People can be born with unique traits unlike their parents or those around them, but they may end up misunderstood, living difficult lives. Ego, however, knows the potential in their unique gene, as in a specific environment, they could thrive and cause humanity's evolution. We see examples in the form of artists, chemists, vocalists, and even gamers mashing away at their computer, but some are even more special. Those lucky enough to be born in or find the right circumstances can revolutionize with their unique expression. As a result, the world standard has changed on a revolutionary scale in some cases, with Steve Jobs specifically shown presenting the new iPhone. Luckily for us and him, he was born in a technological generation, so he was able to make this product, make millions of dollars, revolutionize the world, yada yada. People born with these seeds to change the world are what Ego calls geniuses, finally gift wrapping that term with a strict definition. Though as we already know, being a genius isn't always easy in modern society, and presenting their unique traits and innovations to the world is not something a genius can do alone. They're often looked down upon, misunderstood, and often just criticized. This is why most require someone to discover or be told of their talent, so that person can analyze and comprehend their worth to then explain it to the world. When broken into smaller and more simple to digest components, the masses will begin to understand the shocking nature of that unique seed, eventually turning it into the new standard. These people are then categorized as talented learners, being the correct English translation for what we thought to be prodigies. With all this terminology now defined and broken down step by step, Henri seems to now understand how the world standard is set, and even how genetic evolution relates to the sport. Ego believes this process to not only be linear in biology and sports, but in every aspect of evolving human culture. Specifically in football, he uses geniuses with abnormal physical abilities as an example, as they will eventually create incredible plays with their trait and become the focus of the pitch. Players shown in this category are Nagi, Barou, and Bachira, all being incomprehensible geniuses who dominate with their flair. On the other side are players like Reo, Karasu, and Charles, talented learners who analyze these geniuses to then form tactics, weapons, and counters from that info. This is how football has evolved into the modern age. With Ego fully completing the egoist axis with the terms talented learner and prodigy, the pieces to evolve are now all laid out for our egoist. Isagi Yoichi just needs to clear his mind and open his eyes, as he too can share the world stage with these geniuses. It's not that one is better than the other. Talented learners just have their own unique path to becoming the world's best. It's like a constant back and forth, yin and yang, where both sides maintain balance and calls the other's evolution. Anyways, the game then finally restarts with Isagi running up the pitch, as Igarashi hits Noah with the initial pass. Using his metavision behind Noah to scan the field, Isagi somehow concludes that he cannot defeat a genius based on his prior logic. The absurd plays they make are impossible to replicate on the spot, being so beyond logic that Yoichi cannot even imagine it. I find it interesting how he's only worried about replicating the offensive techniques, showing how he's kind of left the defending to the backline and wants no part in that smoke. I'm kinda joking, but kinda not. More than anything though, he makes the realization that he's always fought as a talented learner. His ability to exploit people's blind spots, his 2-gun direct volley weapon, even his U20 luck goal were all possible due to a talented learner's style of growth. He first analyzed the pieces from Naruhaya, Nagi, and Rin, to then copy and rearrange them however he best saw fit. Despite stealing a piece from everyone he's fought so far and deepening his bag, Isagi states that he's barely scraped by, which I definitely think is an overstatement. He continues on while gritting his teeth, realizing that he doesn't quite have enough originality to create one from zero. With Itoshi and running alongside Noah, BM's master manages to thread a pass over to Michael Kaiser, who volleys the ball right back for a 1-2 play. While this is occurring, Isagi continues to spiral down and feel helpless, realizing that the current game is revolving around these geniuses we've just defined. The world is patiently waiting for them to score another super goal. However, Isagi, he doesn't even know if he's being considered in this moment. The situation only worsens because with a sonic boom being heard from his left, Julian Loki comes speeding by at over 60 miles an hour. I mean, bro literally goes from 10 feet behind to 10 feet ahead of Isagi in mere seconds, leaving Yoichi not a chance in hell to react. At the next scene, it shows Julian Loki intercepting the pass meant for Noah, as Isagi realizes now the true difference between him and a genius. He believes this wall of talent to be unsurpassable, and with a fully blacked out panel, he even blames God for being so unfair. At the same exact time that Isagi had this thought, Michael Kaiser comes running beside him, screaming out something very similar. He too is frustrated with the world blessing some with gifts and not others, Julian Loki, a Godspeed, which Isagi finds very interesting. Why would Kaiser say something like this? Because he clearly knows from all the way back in chapter 162, Michael Kaiser's a heaven-sent genius, right? How is Michael holding his own against the world of geniuses, displaying the same traits and method of play and evolution as Isagi, that of a talented learner? Today's chapter sadly ends off here with Isagi questioning if Kaiser is really a talented learner like him, and what can he learn from him to fight in the world of geniuses. The title for the upcoming chapter 282 is Need You, which has resulted in a lot of speculation as to who Isagi needs. Assuming the statement even comes from Yoichi, I believe it'll be said to Michael Kaiser as the two form a temporary alliance for their shared benefit. Just like Rin and Isagi in the U20 game, these two must work together to work through their biggest issues and threats like Noah's betrayal and PXG's geniuses. Now the question is raised if Isagi directly needs to work with Kaiser to overcome this, or will he simply need him to explain his aspects of evolution to then apply it to his own. The final theory I have is Alexis Ness could be this desired person, as this talk of prodigies and geniuses really has me thinking. If Itoshi and Noah are classified as geniuses due to their illogical mentalities in play, why can't Alexis Ness awaken as one with his flexible ankles and desire for magic? So far Kaiser has been restricting him with a very linear playstyle to assist his Kaiser impact, but just like Kiyori showcased in the Ubers game, Some midfielders thrive when chasing their own ideals while the striker does the same. A true chemical reaction results in both ideals clashing into one super play, which I predict will occur between Ness and Isagi for the winning goal. Please comment down below how this outcome would make you feel, and what theories you personally have, as I'm whipping up a crispy theory video right now. With that sadly being everything, I just want to thank you all so much for watching this far in. If you enjoy Blue Lock and want to support my channel, please click that subscribe button, drop a comment, and even consider joining my community Discord down below. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.